There's so many videos out there talking about which diet is the best for autoimmune disease. Try these foods for Ankylosing, remove these foods to cure Crohn's, do this, do that, and it'll fix it. What we don't really seem to talk about that much is how do you actually stick to a diet once you picked it? So say you picked the perfect diet, you found it, great, there it is. It's different to, let's assume, what most people are on, the standard American, standard Western, standard British diet. You ever seen a tray that's more beige? Life on rabbit food diet that we've been brought up on, and you think, right, let's try these changes which are quite different to what we're used to eating. Just do that, you'll be right as rain, completely sorted, healed, fantastic, crack on. I think the issue with most people, and has been the issue with me in the past, is I'll find it, but then there isn't as much help, or obviously it's much trickier to actually stick to the diet that you've chosen for long enough for it to actually make a difference and for you to see the result. So you found the right video for this. I'm gonna try and explain the things that have helped me stick to a diet and what I think a lot of people could benefit from having in their mind to how they can actually stick to a diet and things they can do to make sure they actually add weeks, months, even years to the consistency of hitting it. Because I've found no matter how good it is, if you don't stick to it for long enough, you're just gonna end up back where you started. The first thing I'd say, pick the right diet. And I've just said how all the videos about which diet to pick, do this, do that, and it's cannot be as helpful. However, it is still important that you pick the right one. Not so much in the sense of the right one that's going to fix it as the quickest compared to all the others. More so the right one that you'll actually stick to and it's easier for you to stick to. Because number one diet for you, as in for this disease, might not be number one diet for you to actually stick to. You might be better choosing 2 or 3, or choosing one with a few slight changes that make it better for you. Pick the right diet and make the changes that still keep it good enough, but that allow you to stick to it long term. Choosing a diet that you're more likely to stick to, as well as the fact that it's going to be good for you, is much better for actually dealing with the autoimmune disease. Number 2, you've actually got to make an effort. You can't just go and buy the ingredients that you see and bin the ones that you know you shouldn't have and just wing it all together and think that you're gonna stick to it long enough. I think you've got to be pretty disciplined and not really bothered about food for that to work for you. What I've found is the more I put effort into it, in terms of sourcing the ingredients, but more so in terms of actually the recipe I'll make, and the best way is getting meal prep done with obviously the right ingredients, I'm more likely to stick to it then. Because if you don't know how to cook and you're making crap food that just doesn't taste nice, but it's on diet, best of luck, you'll nail it for a week, and you'll be like, yes, get in, nailed it. The second week will come and you'll be like, I don't want to eat that food again. I've been there. You're like, what is this crap? How do I make this tasty? Check up some recipes. Even better, find the chef, find someone who does meal prep, who knows how to make them into tasty meals. And then you're more likely to stick to it because you actually enjoy the meal that you're eating. Number 3, stay away from the things that you shouldn't be eating. Ideally, you can get them out the house, get them into a different cupboard, just not have them in front of you all the time. If your bird's got a lovely fresh loaf of bread and she puts it on the counter and it's just smelling there all nice and warm and tasty, and you love bread, great, you might do 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, but you go out on Friday, you come back Saturday a bit hungover and the bread's still there. Well, not the same bread, it'd be pretty bloody stale. But you get the idea that your point of weakness, if you've constantly had to battle that and it's there on your weekday, you're more likely of giving into it. You just are. So keep it out of sight, keep it away. Just try your best to not be around the food. Don't constantly walk past the Dunkin' Donuts, the Krispy Kreme store. Don't go to McDonald's with your friends just to chill. Don't know who does that. But you know what I mean? Just steer your life to make it easier for you. Less temptation, less likely to actually give in. Number 4, socializing. This is a pretty tricky one because I think it depends on how bad the autoimmune disease is and also just how good and valuable your social life is. So obviously, if you're in a terrible state, then I don't see how any sort of social life is worthwhile while you're literally just in horrendous health. Other thing being, if you've got a great social life and it brings a lot to your life, then yeah, you maybe will make a few exceptions here and there. So figure that out for yourself. So you want to go out, you want to have fun, you want to go see your mates, you want to go for meals, you want to party, festival, whatever it is. What I'd say the most important thing is, firstly, is just make sure you've been on diet for the times prior and definitely after the socializing. The more slack you can build in by sticking to it when you know you can, when it's just easy, then I would say there's some wiggle room for allowing a few things in. I'll say this again, if you're in a terrible state, just don't mess around with any little detours, because you shouldn't. I think you should value your health more than socializing for a few months, if that's all it takes. But on the times you are going out, I would try and call up the restaurant beforehand, check what options they have, check the gluten-free, check what ingredients, and maybe have a plan in your mind, or you've spoken to someone where you know what to get, so you're not under pressure when you're there and you can just be like, bang, bang, done, get me that. I spoke to someone on the phone. Sorted. If you're going out drinking, pick the better drinks, the ones that are less likely to kick off autoimmune disease, and obviously just drink less, but I mean, not gonna listen to me, are you? Also bear in mind, if a night out or a party or whatever you do on the weekend, if that leads into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, then even Wednesday being off diet, you've got to really think, is that worth it? And are there some changes you need to make on the Saturday to make it more possible that you stick to it the days after? Because it's not really the Saturday night that's going to mess everything up on its own. It's what comes after, the hangovers, the tiredness, messed it up on Monday, so I'll start next Monday. No, just start straight away, get straight back into it. Which then brings me on to the last point, where if you've got meal prep, if you've got food ready, on your times of weakness, you're more likely to just reach for that and heat it up than you are to cook up the same dish you've been eating for 2 weeks, or something that you don't see as tasty when you're hungover, tired, stressed, whatever. You're more likely to go, no chance, I'm gonna eat the stuff that I know ain't too good for me. Another point, sorry about this one, but I'm gonna say it to you, you just gotta get a grip as well. Get a grip. No one's gonna wallow with you and cry with you because you've had to do 2 weeks of dieting, or because, I don't know, you had to choose something on the menu that you didn't want. Or maybe you just couldn't even go to that event or night out because you know what it's gonna lead to. Woe you, poor you, get a grip. I imagine you're watching this video because you've got, well, health issues, or you're really wanting to improve your health. At times, things need to go up and down. One of them might be fun and socializing and eating what you want. One might be health. If you're going for your health, if you're going actually to try and improve it, just get a grip and do what you need to do. Supplementation, yes, super important, and it can probably help the whole process of just getting healthier. And the healthier you are, better sleep you have, the more energy you have, the less likely you are to reach for the crap food. So supplementation is a big one. Finally, I want you to see why you're doing this dieting every day in front of you. Whether that be you write it down in the morning in a notepad or whatever, or whiteboard, you write on the whiteboard exactly why it is that you're doing this. So when again, those times of weakness and boredom maybe, and you're like, wait, why am I doing this? I feel fine now, I'm having a good day, I can eat what I want. You see that thing on your whiteboard and you're like, okay, I remember. And you're more likely to stick to it because you see it every day. If you dieted for a week and you've not thought about why you're doing it, it comes around the second week and you're thinking, what's the point again? I feel better already, why am I doing this? I can let a few things slide. No, see it in front of you and set a goal as to how long you're going to stick to it for. Obviously, go in chunks, even though the answer is do it forever, well, or at least follow a good diet forever. Have a goal in mind that you can reassess. So 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, 3 months. And then you know that once you got there, it's like checkpoint, nailed, done. And then I can reassess as to what's best. So have your why in front of you. Have a goal for how long you want to stick to it for. So there's my points for how to actually stick to a diet to heal autoimmune disease. If you've got any questions or if I've missed anything, stick them in the comments below and let us all know what you're doing that helps you keep the fish fingers and the turkey dinosaurs and the Big Macs away. Let us all know what works for you. Nice one. Take care.